I think at this point, there's absolutely zero denying that 3i Atlas has created quite a storm. The interstellar comet, right, that was supposed to be the size of Manhattan, that was headed towards Earth, then wasn't headed towards Earth, then was headed towards Earth, then wasn't headed towards Earth, was then going to collide with Mars, then wasn't going to collide with Mars, then turned out to be an interstellar craft because it changed its own trajectory, according to Avi Loeb, who is a Harvard professor, and then wasn't because it had a comet tail, but then it never found a comet tail, so it turned out it could never be a comet. The whirlwind on this is absolutely insane. And then you've got the comments from Jeremy Corbell that came out earlier this year that there was going to be this great lie that was going to come out. And everyone thought, oh, it must be about 3i Atlas, me included. And then Jeremy Corbell comes out and says, no, that's not what the great lie is. That's not it at all. I don't know how to keep up with this anymore. So let's just dive into what we know, what we don't know, and the developments that have happened recently, because, my lord, there have been some developments. So let's give it an overview first. So 3i Atlas is the third confirmed interstellar object to visit our solar system following the Oumuamua, I've butchered that, I do apologise, from 2017, and the 2i Borisov from 2019. Now, this interstellar object in particular, 3i Atlas, was actually discovered on July 1st, 2025 by the Atlas telescope in Chile. And it's classified as a comet due to its hyperbolic orbit, indicating that it's not bound to the sun, and it's observing outgassing, right? So it's estimated to be around 7 to 14 billion years old, by the way, potentially older than our very own solar system, and it originated from the Milky Way's thick disk and approached from the direction of Sagittarius. Its nucleus is roughly 10 to 30 kilometers in diameter, with a speed of about 61 kilometers per second, and it poses no threat to Earth right now, passing at a minimum distance of 1.8 AU, which is about 170 million miles in December of 2025. But if you remember when this thing was first found, this thing was apparently going to collide with Earth in September of 2025, so obviously the narrative has quite significantly shifted there. Now, obviously there have been some very significant developments as of November 3rd, 2025, which is actually today. So the comet has reached its perihelion, right, which is the closest approach to the Sun on October 30th, 2025, which was about 1.4 AU. So it's inside Mars' orbit, and it's currently on the far side of the Sun from Earth, making a ground-based observations challenging until early December. But key updates over the past week do include unusual acceleration and colour shift, right? So this is something that we're going to touch on later, as NASA reported that a non-gravitational acceleration during the perihelion, right? Likely from outgassing, but more intense than expected, causing the comets to deviate from its predicted flight path. This could lead to significant mass loss up to 50% and the debris plume in the coming months. Additionally, it's exhibited a surprising blue hue, possibly from massive evaporation or diatomic carbon emissions, turning brighter and more active than anticipated. Brightening surged dramatically from mid-September to late October as it approached from the 2 AU to 1.36 AU. So obviously, this has added in some plausibility to this idea that it may be some kind of mothership, as Avi Loeb was kind of referencing to earlier this year, right? And also the fact that it's changed speed and velocity, but it's also changing colour. A lot of people are like, oh, that adds to that. But then let's talk about water detection. So NASA's Neil Gehrels Swift Observatory detected hydroxyl, or OH, which is a gas, a marker of water vapor, escaping the comet in early July and August 2025 observations. This confirms active sublimation of water ice. And then there's also the spacecraft observations, so the ESA's Mars Express and ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter imaged it on October 3rd, 2025, showing it as a fuzzy white dot against streaked stars due to its speed. Now, There's also structural features. So the Hubble telescope from July 21st, 2025 imaged a teardrop-shaped dust cocoon around the icy nucleus. Keck Observatory noted an anti-tail. Dust particles pushed anti-sunward by radiation pressure starting in August and September, plus a 594-kilometer anomalous feature, which also shows a green glow from cyanogen gas and high concentrations of carbon dioxide and nickel, usually without iron, challenging standard comet chemistry. All of this, right, amalgamated perfectly into this idea that actually what we're dealing with here is absolutely nothing in the realms of normal on what we know. So because of this, Representative Luna, right, Anna Paulina Luna, who of course is the head of the UAP task force inside of the American government, has actually formally requested NASA release scientific data on 3I Atlas to share what they know. This is the Congress thing that they submitted, right? So it says, Dear Acting Administrator Duffy, I write to request the release of specific observations, data related to 3I Atlas recommended captured by NASA missions, as well as additional information on interstellar objects and meteors of scientific interest. This information is of great importance to advancing our understanding of interstellar visitors and their interactions with our solar system. Obviously there, she's not referencing this as just a comet. She's referencing this as a visitor and what they intend. So kind of, putting a bit of NHI into the mix here. Number one, on October 2nd and 3rd, 2025, the HiRISE camera aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter obtained multiple images of 3I Atlas. I respectfully request that NASA make this data publicly available to the scientific community. The HiRISE data, which should have a special resolution approximately 30 kilometers per pixel, 3 times better than that of the best image captured by the Hubble Space Telescope on July 21st, 2025, offers a valuable side view of the glow surrounding the 3I Atlas. The brightest pixel on these images will provide the most precise contrast on the object's size to date. I'm sorry, this is really small, so I'm struggling to read this, but hopefully I'm getting this right. Number 2, in addition, I request that NASA release any supplementary data from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, the Perseverance rover, or other Mars missions that may have detected unusual activity near Mars around or after October 3rd, 2025, when 3I Atlas passed within approximately 30 million kilometers of the planet. Obviously not asking too much there. Number 3, I also ask that NASA disclose any data on the 3I Atlas obtained by other missions, including the Parker Solar Probe or other active observatories under NASA's purview, aside from the Hubble and James Webb Space Telescope. To further enhance our understanding, I encourage NASA to find additional observations of 3I Atlas by the Juno mission near Jupiter, utilizing all available instruments, including its radio sensors. Observations from this vantage point could yield valuable insights into the object's composition, trajectory, and possible interactions with the solar environment. Number 5, finally, I request that NASA release all the data confirmed or candidate interstellar meteors contained in the Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, the CNEOS databases, maintained by the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL. Of peculiar interest of the interstellar meteor detection on January 8th, 2014, near Papua New Guinea, for which 2. And this, of course, is signed sincerely by Anna Paulina Luna, member of Congress. So, again, very interesting questions here. Not mentioning this as just a comet. Clearly kind of indicating that there's something a little bit more to this that she is very, very keen on. I find that very interesting. But what's also very interesting here is Anna Paulina Luna never got a reply, ever. Her wishes were left on deaf ears. But what's also really friggin' interesting is the NASA administrator, right, actually responded to Kim Kardashian, but not a member of Congress. Take a little look at this. So, basically, Kim Kardashian put out a post on Twitter stating, wait, what's the T on 3i Atlas? NASA acting administrator responded to this and stated, great question. NASA's observations show that in the third interstellar comet passed through our solar system, no aliens, no threat to life here on Earth. 3 equals the third, I equals interstellar, meaning from beyond our solar system, and Atlas discovered by our asteroid. So he responded there with absolutely no problem whatsoever, Sean Duffy. But when Representative Luna came a knocking and asking for this, absolute crickets. Absolute crickets. So, what happens next, you're probably wondering? Well, the tea doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen, as it goes a little bit further than that. So, Avi Loeb, who of course has been at the kind of spearhead of this whole interstellar object, has just publicly scrutinized Sean Duffy, the acting administrator for NASA, for responding to Kim Kardashian, but not responding to Representative Luna. And he did this on News Nation in this clip right here.
Just a couple of days ago, Kim Kardashian asked a question about 3i Atlas and directed it to the acting administrator of NASA, Sean Duffy, and he immediately tweeted a reply in which he explained 3i Atlas and so forth. But on the same day, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna sent a letter to Sean Duffy asking NASA to release this data that is being held for over a month. No response so far. When I approached the principal investigator of HiRise, no response. It doesn't make much sense for the politics of the day to sabotage the progress of science. We need this data in order to plan future observations of the object.
I hear it, and I did not expect that the clear path forward would be getting Kim Kardashian to maybe ask this question on your behalf and on our behalf to try to get some answers.
My complaint is more about the fact that there was an immediate response to her, but no response.
I hear that. I mean, what do you think we will learn from NASA's data? And it sounds like you're saying, do you believe that the government shutdown is a convenient cover for why this information is not being made public?
No, I don't think there is anything indicating extraterrestrial intelligence in this data. I think it's a result of terrestrial stupidity that using politics to just prevent the flow of information or the sharing of information among scientists, that should not be delayed by any political agenda. The point is that we don't need any press release. It's just sharing data, which under normal circumstances is obligated by law within about a day and a half because NASA is being funded by...
I mean, it's kind of nuts, isn't it? This whole thing is actually kind of nuts. So, what do you guys think? I mean, obviously, it's very suspicious that all of this would happen. Anna Paulina Luna, member of Congress, requests this Essential Freedom of Information Act and is like, make this information public, let us know what you know. And on the same day, Kim Kardashian makes a single post about 3i Atlas, and then suddenly everyone's up in her griddy, but not up in Anna Paulina Luna's. Very interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Of course, I'm very intrigued to hear. While you're down there, jump scare the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll spook you later. Peace.